And we're live. Okay, let's see here. Everything I need to do and shit like that. I don't think I need to do anything else. So, just have to sneeze. Oh, okay. There's 2 people watching so far. Okay, 1 people watching so far. I should really move this a little bit and then open YouTube on my laptop and kind of what's it called? Okay, I'm going to share this. I'm going to move this a little bit to the right, I think. Whoopsie daisy. And it fell down. I'm so sorry. Okay. Sorry for moving around the camera and stuff like that. I'm just going to, I'm trying to do stuff. The live stream hasn't officially started, so to say. I'm trying to share the video first here, if I can. Can I? For some reason. So just hang on. I will fix this. I'm just sharing the video. Oh my god, I can hear myself. That sucks. Live now. I just write like that. Post to Facebook. Like that. Okay, and share it to Twitter too. Alright, Twitter. I'm just gonna share it and then everything will be okay. Yeah. Blah blah. Alright. And yeah, well, that should be it actually. Alright, I'm going to turn off the sound from the live stream on the laptop. I'm going to go down here. Alright, now I'm going to put my little iPad back on the laptop like that. So yeah, and somehow I think I will be able to see the comments, right? I don't know. Okay. Sarah, movie reviewer, your ASMR videos help me so much. Thanks for making them. You're welcome. It helps me too to make the videos that I make. And I'm sorry I kind of look like shit. This was totally improvised, like all of my other ASMR video. No, not ASMR videos. All of my live streams. One of these days, I'm actually going to do a live stream that's planned. And Nasse, come here. I just wanted to say, to make Nasse say hello. Hello. Look, they are watching you. 8 people are watching you at this moment. Yeah. Mm. All right. So, what's this live stream gonna be about? Well, as I said, I didn't plan it. And I was actually, yeah, I love the Star Lady collaboration video. It was really fun to do also. Okay, I'm going to do it like that. I know the lighting isn't the best in here, but it's a little bit cozy, ain't it? You know, having a little bit of soft light and stuff like that. So Yeah, it wasn't planned as usual. So, where was I? Yeah, I was actually trying to live stream from my laptop, but as usual, it didn't work because I suck. I really suck at laptops tech. I really do. I'm not going to say anything else. I really suck. So it's like you had to download a decoder to start live streaming, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Why can't I just like uh, start a goddamn live stream? You know, why does it has to be so hard? This is on my iPad, and I'm trying different filters, so bear with me. Groovy. Yeah. So I had to return to doing live stream on my iPad, which I think is okay, right? You know, the quality might not be the best, but on the other hand, this isn't like a. If I manage to get my laptop to stream with this decoding crap, I'd probably ask someone who knows better than me about this shit. But until then, I guess the iPad will have to do. So it's the sheet 29th today. Hello, Brinny. And soon it will be a new year. It will be 2020. We will be in the 20s again. Unfortunately, it won't be as cool as the real 20s when it actually was the other 20s back. Kind of like, what is it, 90, 80 years ago? I suck at accounting. But let's hope that it will be. Hello, DDR. Ingria, where's that? Hmm, don't know. You have to tell me Ingria or India. Maybe you just wrote misspelled. Was it India or Ingria? Because India I've heard about, Ingria not. Uh, so, okay, what time is it? Let's start this live stream. Well, hello there. Yes, this is Darkest Star ASMR. Hello, Sneezy McPanda. Uh, if I know, okay, yeah, sure. That's a good starting point. The Rise of Skywalker. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I've seen it twice, and personally, I love it. I do, and I loved it even more the second time. Mm. I wasn't a big fan of The Last Jedi in the beginning when I first saw it, but after a while it kind of grew on me because my sister wanted to see it. I've seen it with a friend. I have it on Blu-ray, so I've seen it a couple of times, and it kind of grew on me. Uh, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. People who says it's bad, and I have beer as usual when I do live streams. I don't know why, but I have. I think, and this might come off as controversial. I was a hater after The Last Jedi. I really didn't like that movie at first, and I jumped on the bandwagon with. There's a lot of channels out there. I think Mr. H, comic blah blah, Ethan or something, and they like just piss and crap and dump on these movies even before they have premiered. Uh, and I was like, yeah, and I think somehow people want to connect. They want to have. Oh, Northwest Russia. Hello. Hello, everyone who has just come to the stream. We're talking about the rise of Skywalker. And yeah, I think people have some kind of, that's my snooze, longing to belong to a group. Might it be a group of musicians, a group of bikers? They want to belong. And unfortunately, some people are drawn into hate. They give in to their anger. And it's easy to like cheer on each other and like bash on something. First of all, let me address some of the things. I won't discuss the Force Awakens at all because that's the movie that started it. I think it's meh. I think still it's a bit meh. It doesn't really grab me. It's not a bad movie. It's pretty entertaining and stuff, but it didn't really grab me. The Last Jedi, I didn't like at first, mostly because I've heard so much shit about it. So I started to like, I don't know, I became brainwashed in some way. Now let's address a couple of things in The Last Jedi. Luke Skywalker, which many had a problem with. Uh, yeah, I'm coming to that too, Dr. Goldfinger. The Last Jedi, Luke. You know, when I was 20, or even younger than that, I kind of had a bright image of what the world, what my future would be like. But as the year went by and more tragic shit happened, I became sick. You know, I have this, I'm not going to go into the mental problems and stuff. Uh, I have lost family members, I have lost people I love, and now I don't see as bright on the world as I did when I was a teenager. Now, Luke Skywalker, he went through a galactic civil war. He watched his father die in his arms. He was tortured by the emperor, and yeah, and his Jedi Academy was destroyed. Ben Solo turned to the dark side. I really can't blame him if he. I would probably be. I'm a hermit, and I haven't lost the Jedi Academy. My dad hasn't died in my arms. My dog did, however, and that's equally bad, but that's another story. Um, so I can understand why he's a hermit and why he was just want to. But I didn't at first. I was like, that's not the Luke Skywalker I saw. But so many years have passed since the Return of the Jedi and the Last Jedi, so I can kind of understand it. So it doesn't bother me. Another thing that bothered me was Mary Poppins Leia flying through space like Superman or Mary Poppins. That still bothers me because it's very unrealistic, but on the other hand, we have science fiction, fantasy movie. It deals with unrealistic things. So I guess you can buy it if you really want to. You know, don't put too much effort into trying to explain it. She's a Jedi after all, which we learned in The Rise of Skywalker, and that's no. I think that's no spoiler. The Cant Blight scenes with Finn and Rose Tico, yeah, were wasted time, and Benicio del Toro's character was wasted too. So the the Last Jedi is not a perfect movie by any means, but it's not as bad as people want it to be, I think. And especially after the rise of Skywalker, I think it has become even more interesting. There was definitely no need for JJ to kind of retcon it as he tries to do in The Last Jedi. Uh, yeah, so to return to the Rise of Skywalker, I loved it. I loved it. It's not a perfect movie. Uh, it's not a perfect movie by a long shot. And some of the side characters they have introduced newly in the Rise of Skywalkers wasn't really necessary. They might have been better off just concentrating on Rey, Finn, and Poe, and Lando, of course. But I was entertained for the 2.5 hour the movie was on. Never did I feel the urge to go to sleep, and I think it's a good conclusion to the Skywalker saga, or the Star Wars saga. You know, many people's they hold the old trilogy, the original trilogy, in such high regard, but isn't a perfect trilogy by any means. It has flaws. It has plot holes. I was discussing this with two friends yesterday, actually, uh, and we kind of agreed that they aren't perfect. They are perfectly entertaining, but they are not perfect by any means. Like, for example, this is just an example. The Rebel Alliance was pretty strong in Return of the Jedi, and Han Solo was one of the freedom fighters for the rebellion. Why didn't they just storm Jabba's palace and took him back? Because it would have been a very short opening of the movie. But it has plot holes, you know. And in Return of the Jedi, Leia says that she has memories of her mother being very sad. But in the prequels, we see that she dies just after giving birth to Leia, so she didn't really have time. She was sad, I guess, but you know, stuff like that. So it isn't a perfect film saga at all, but it is highly entertaining. And then we have the social justice warrior crap going on and the shit like that, which annoys me a little bit actually, because Star Wars is filled with strong women. Mon Mothma, we have Padme, we have Atush. I'm not that into Rebels or the Clone Wars, but it's always been filled. Yeah, Leia, of course. It's always been filled with strong women. Even in the now Legend universe, we had Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker's wife, and so on and so forth. So when people like get so excited that Rey is a Mary Sue and she's a social justice and she's in there just to keep the people pleased, you know, the political correct people pleased. Rey isn't the social justice warrior character. She's the she's a Jedi which is very very strong in the Force. But, and I will tell you this, and this might come off as a spoiler, so guess you better keep your ears shut if you don't want anything. She actually isn't as strong as Kylo Ren, because he beats her pretty bad on the wreck of the Death Star 2. He like just toys with her in some of the scenes. Also, when she's training with Leia in on the, I don't know which planet they are on, she can't really hit training droid and shit like that. You know, she's powerful, yes, but no fucking Mary Sue or social justice warrior. She's a strong Jedi, just like Luke was, just like her. Okay, keep your ears shut. Okay, keep your ears shut because now is spoiler for Rise of Skywalker. Spoilers. You've been warned. 1, 2, 3. Rey is the granddaughter of Palpatine. Yes, so she's actually Rey Palpatine. And since the Emperor or Sheev Palpatine is one of the most powerful force wielders in the universe, it's not that hard to understand how she has this a huge amount of power that she has. Not as much as Ben Solo though. He still beats her. Uh, but yeah, so that's why she's so strong in the Force. And the movie doesn't really go into how she was conceived. It says that Palpatine had a son, which is her father, of course, and he hid her away from Palps. uh, but hello, sleeping artist. So I guess that's why she was so powerful in the Force. But as I said, on the wreck of the Death Star 2, Kylo Ren beat her. It was only Leia sending a mental connection to him that made her be able to, you know, stick him with a lightsaber. Cheers, by the way. Oh, you just saw it. Yeah, we're discussing it here. This live stream isn't going to be just the rise of Skywalker, but I thought we could get that out of the way because I think personally, uh, Carlsberg always win. Personally, it was one of the three best movies of 2019 for me, and the perfect ending to the Skywalker saga for me. Uh, but I have I don't care what people say if they think it's a bad movie or not. For me, it was a perfect good sorry good movie, and I just want to bring one thing up that had me pissed off actually. I've seen so many complaints about there's a woman, she's uh, a rebel woman who looks like a bird. And in the end sequence of Rise of Skywalker, she kisses another woman very briefly. It's a hit and miss thing, or it's a blink and miss. But people have blown that out of proportions because they again start to scream about political correctness, social justice warrior and shit. You know, for me, I hadn't really. I guess I wouldn't have reacted at all if it wasn't for the shitstorm about it. For me, it was just a symbol of, everyone was cheering. They had finally defeated the Empire again. And they were hugging and kissing. And, if it hadn't been the shitstorm about it, it would have floated just, took women kissed. So what? They kissed and hugged everyone. Poe and Finn hugged each other, and who gives a crap? But people have to have something to get upset about these days, and I don't really know why. Their lives must be so empty without anything to really, So I mean, take if I'm trying not to swear in my videos anymore because of the obvious things. But take a look at the world. There you have something you can get upset about. War and stuff like that. People are starving, people get abused. That's something to get excited or annoyed about or angry about. Not two women kissing for a tenth of a second in a science fiction movie. So, uh, okay, so that was my thoughts about Rise of Skywalker, and I disagree. I think Ren deserved a redemption arc because he was tricked by Palpatine, I guess. Some people have a weakness towards the dark side. I mean, look how easy Anakin turned. I am going to help you save your Padme. I'm Darth Vader. So I think he deserves. One more thing, and also spoiler. I would have loved to see uh, Ben survive and start a new Jedi Academy with Rey. That would have been awesome. I'm just going to grab my snooze. That's the only gripe I have. And I would have loved to see Ben as a Force Ghost in the end with Leia and Luke. Maybe even Anakin or Qui-Gon. You know, it would have been a nice touch. But other than that, I'm pleased. Yeah, he did bring balance to the Force when he killed off Palpatine. But some things doesn't turn out the way it's supposed to, I guess. I mean, the the the, the emperor the emperor died on the Death Star too. So Anakin actually fulfilled the prophecy. He said it in Rise of Skywalker, I've died before, when Ren threatens to kill him. So, yeah, I will say this. I will say this. If I had control over the Star Wars franchise, I wouldn't have gone in this direction at all with the sequel, the three sequels. I would probably introduce. Uh, I would probably have introduced Ray, Finn, Poe. I don't know if I had chosen all these characters, and Ben. I like Kylo Ren, I do. And send them on a different adventure. Maybe, that didn't have anything to do with a new First Order or shit like that, but to explore the galaxy in another way. To make a trilogy out of a new adventure that didn't have anything to do with the Emperor or the Empire, because they were defeated at the Return of the Jedi, and that could have been it. They could have just explored other regions of the galaxy and have the Skywalker clan fight another enemy. It could have been hilariously fun and amazing. But this is the way they wanted to go, so yeah, I am okay with it. Uh, Now I would love to see, and I posted this on Facebook in a Star Wars group, I think, and some people agreed with me. I would love to see uh, a movie set in the Force Ghost dimension. Now this is pure fan fiction and pretty ridiculous, but as I said, Star Wars can be ridiculous. I would love it if Ben, Luke, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and other Jedi, Anakin of course, would have to like group together in this ghost dimension and finally put an end to Palpatine's evil spirit, because he jumped into another body obviously in after Return of the Jedi, but he might do it again. So they have to like fight this huge army of Sith lords in this other ghost dimension, and finally put Palpatine in some kind of soul prison, to keep him there forever. It's just one movie. I think that's enough, but I would really love to see that. But yeah, that's enough about Star Wars. Since we're into movies, I would like to tell you two. I have three best movies of 2019. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Now this is a bit hard, but I have to choose It Chapter 2. on second place or third place or whatever. It wasn't as good as I haven't seen Rambo 5 yet, so I can't take that into account. I haven't seen The Lighthouse either, which I'm pretty sure would be on this list. Neither have I said Midsummer, which I think also could be on a. Maybe I would have to do a top 5 movie. Uh, now, It Chapter 2 wasn't as good as It Chapter 1, but it was still a good horror movie. I was entertained, it was fun. I wish they could have followed the book a little bit more at the end. I love this spider version of Pennywise more than I did the crappy 90s television series version. But it was still a good movie. Have you seen the trailer for the new Ghostbuster movie? Yes, I have, and I'm not impressed. Not at all. I'm sorry. It just looks like some kind of kid save the day, Stranger Thing, it shit. I wanted a movie with Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. Fortunately, we can't have Harold Ramis anymore. And Winston, I don't remember his name, damn it. Fighting off ghosts and have fun. I didn't need a lot of kids taking over. Yeah, Kong vs. Godzilla could be okay. I love the King of Monsters. Yeah, so second place or in the middle is It Chapter 2. And then we have my absolute favorite of 2019, and that is Mike Flanagan's Doctor Sleep, or The Shining 2, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that one blew me straight out of my ass. I love Doctor Sleep. I think it's one of the best horror movies. Actually, I would actually say it's one of the best horror movies I know. And that comes from a guy who loves The Shining. I love Poltergeist. I love Ghost Story. I love all these classic old horror movies. I'm not. I have not seen The Irishman. I heard it was boring. Uh, I'm not too fond of modern horror movies. I'm sorry. But all this conjuring and shit like that, it's just jump scares, and these how many movies haven't I seen during the 2000s with people who have long mouths and black eyes screaming? It's just boring. I'm sorry, but no. But Doctor Sleep felt a little bit like a older movie in some capacity. And I love Rebecca Ferguson as Rose the Hat, the shining, sucking vampire thing. Now, as usual, when it comes to adapting a movie into a book into a movie, they missed some things, but they didn't actually miss too much. The ending was a bit different, but I loved it because it tied into the first novel by Stephen King, The Shining. I'm not going to go into spoilers about Doctor Sleep. It's such a good movie. Oh, Marvel! Don't get me started about Marvel. The last Marvel movie I watched was Ant-Man and the Wasp. And I was so angry. I wanted to smash my DVD or Blu-ray, what the fuck I was watching. Such a bad excuse for a movie. Oh my god. I really was angry. I wanted to smash it. Like, the effects were horrible. The logic was out of the window. When they had the laboratory shrunken down and they just threw it around. And I was like, not a single thing in that lab will not be broken. And then they shrank the cars and they looked like fucking toy cars and the constant jokes. Yeah. I hated it, and I'm not a Marvel fan at all. Hello, Jedi Ferret. I'm not a Marvel fan at all. I call these movies the bouncing rubber person movies because it looks like a goddamn video game. People are just bouncing around and no one gets hurt. And if someone gets hurt, it's because the story demands it. I kind of like the Iron Man movies, two of them or whatever, but that was about it. I can't stand them. And yeah, I want to mention another movie that I've seen, and I guess you have too. The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. I'm going to drink my beer. There we go. Joker. I have such a split opinion about that movie. On one hand, Joaquin Phoenix portrayal of a mentally deranged person who get refused help is amazing. It's really amazing. He does such a good job with this Arthur Fleck. But as a Joker movie, it just sucks. It plain sucks. That's not the clown prince of crime. I don't think Arthur Fleck could orchestra a heist, even if its life depended on it. Neither would he be able to have like a henchman band group. It's just a sad movie about mental illness, and it could have been so much better if they just dropped the Joker aspect. Okay, he could have had a clown makeup and stuff like that because he doesn't even look like the Joker. The Joker never had a red nose or clown makeup that way. So no one. Uh, Let me say like this. I love it for its dramatic portrayal of a man with a severe illness. I hate it as a Joker movie. And to be honest, I didn't really care for it. It was depressing. It's a one-time experience, I think. And I think Joaquin Phoenix deserves an Oscar for his portrayal of Arthur Fleck. But as a Joker movie, it was bad. It was unnecessary. That's why I don't have it on my top list because I became bored with it. It was way too long, and the Joker things just made me cringe. I didn't like it that much. If I had to give it a grade, I would probably give it a 3 out of 5. It's a good movie. I would give Joaquin Phoenix a 5 out of 5. And yeah, it borrows heavily from the King of Comedy, and it borrows heavily from Taxi Driver and stuff like that, Scorsese's movies. But it doesn't, we have seen it before. We have seen the descent into madness. We have seen the depression and stuff like that. De Niro in Taxi Driver and in King of Comedy, Jerry Lee Lewis, No. I just didn't like it. It's a good movie, but I didn't like it. I felt it was boring, and the Joker part was just tacked on to sell it. I guess. So yeah, that was my 3 top movies for 2019. Rise of Skywalker, Doctor Sleep. There's a new Pirates of the Caribbean. It is? What? Have I missed something? The last one was, I think, was with... Oh, they are isn't that without Johnny Depp? Then it's just why? Just why? Why beat on a dead horse, you know? And even if Johnny Depp is in it, they better come up with some really good, entertaining stuff because the last two ones I think was not my cup of tea actually. No, 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 no. I can't hardly remember the last one. The first three was okay. The first is always going to be the best, and then they kind of went downhill, and the fourth wasn't memorable at all, and the last one I no 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 no. Stop it, Hollywood. Come up with something new. I know it's hard. Most things have already been done, but at least try to come up with something new. I talking about Star Wars. I love the Mandalorian, by the way. I really. Hello, Rebecca. I really love the Mandalorian, especially Baby Yoda. Who can't love Baby Yoda? He's such an awesome character. And it will be fun to see if they ever explain his origins. You know, is he a clone of Yoda? Is he a separate species of that kind of creature, or what is he, you know, except being extremely cute and you want to like touch his ears. Yes. So I love the Mandalorian. It's a fantastic series and I recommend, if you haven't seen it, it's just 8 episodes I think. Watch it, because if you love Star Wars and you love like the Mandalorian lore and stuff like that, and action of course, watch it. You won't be disappointed. And if you like cute things with fluffy ears, you will love it. So yeah. Is there anything else I would like to? This turned out to be kind of like a movie stream, movie live stream. We just talked about movies for like 42 minutes. And I don't mind. I'm a cineast. I love movies. And I have watched very many good movies this year. Not from this year though. For example, recently I watched Ingmar Bergman's Wild Strawberries with Seaström, Victor Sjöström. It's kind of like a road movie about an old doctor going through Sweden, to going with his niece to Malmö to get a doctor's hat, I think, and they meet all these people along the road. It's a wonderful movie, Wild Strawberries, Ingmar Bergman. If I have seen the trailer for the new Invisible Man, yes, I have, and it didn't. Ah, ah. Yeah, I guess it takes a lot to impress me these days, you know. The Invisible Man have been done so many times. Like the Kevin Bacon Hollow Man was okay for its time. The Cloud Rains, the Invisible Man, the original from the 40s, is good. Uh, but it's, I guess it's fun that they kind of like want to make a new adaptation of that story, because it hasn't been done to death. That's for sure. Like say a lot of other movies. So yeah, that's probably a movie I will watch. But if it's good, I don't know. I guess time will have to. Actually, I put a post on Facebook the other day when I felt a little bit depressed about the movie industry as a whole, because after the Star Wars saga concluded with the rise of Skywalker, There's actually nothing that I look forward to anymore, and that's sad. As I said in that post, I will probably like discover movies that I haven't seen and they will become a favorite. Like I watched Hereditary, a movie that I've read about, I've heard people say it was good. I was afraid it was going to be like over pretentious kind of thing. So I hold back from watching it. I wasn't excited when I bought the Blu-ray. But when I watched it, it turned out to be one of my favorite horror movies for a long time. It was excellent. So I guess I will probably find movies that I will love, but it's the thing, I don't have anything to look forward to. I looked forward to Doctor Sleep because I love The Shining. I love the novel Doctor Sleep, and that's came, and I loved it. The Star Wars saga, man, it's been a part of my whole life. I watched the first one when I was 11 in the cinemas, and it was The Empire Strikes Back. Since then, I've been hooked. I've collected now almost all the video games. I have the figures, all the movies, the documentaries, and now all of a sudden, it's over. Okay, there will probably be more Star Wars movies, but nothing like the Star Wars saga, the Skywalker saga as they call it. That's over. Uh, the Indiana Jones franchise was also something that I hold dear. But after watching the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and Harrison Ford isn't young, I do not look forward to another Indiana Jones. Sorry. Favorite comedies? I must confess, comedies, I really don't like comedies unless it's involuntary comedy. You know, when people are trying to be funny, it just turns me off. It's like, oh, he's trying to be funny. Nah. I, I don't know. I'm like the guy. I like when people fall down and hurt themselves really bad. I guess in real life, you know, uh, that came out pretty odd, but I don't like comedies. And the worst thing I hate, I really hate actually, is like parody movies like Spaceballs, Mel Brooks movies. I can't stand them. Same with movies like Hot Shot or Naked Weapon or whatever they're called. You know, when there's just silly, they know they're in a movie, so they like stumble on uh, the credits and stuff like. Ooh, I can't stand it. So I love what's it called, Young Frankenstein, Mel Brooks, and Blazing Saddles, but that's about it. I can't. Oh, same with the scary movie series. I really don't like it. I don't find them amusing. I just find them cringe-worthy and silly. So me and comedies, not so much. This might come as a surprise, but I actually like mild comedies, in, if I have to say. Uh, like I kind of liked Four Weddings and a Funeral because it wasn't over the top. It had like kind of like human humor and a lot of joy. You know, you could feel the life joy from some of the it's hard to describe. It's not a movie that I necessarily want to watch again, but I didn't hate it. So yeah, that's the kind of you know involuntary comedy. That's something I like. Sometimes the small things makes me laugh. Like I remember one particular scene from a movie. I don't know if many of you have heard of it. It was an 80s movie called Revenge of the Nerds. And in one scene, two of the main characters are talking in the foreground, and you're supposed to, I guess, concentrate on them. But in the back, there's this guy with red, huge hair. Poindexter is his name, by the way. And he has these square glasses, kind of like this. And he's the ultimate nerd. And I think he's trying to do something with a mixer, drink mixer. And there's no sound actually. But while these two characters are talking in the foreground, he gets stuck in this mixer with his hand. It's a short, very short thing. That had me laughing because it was not what I had expected. Stuff like that. People get hurt. I love when people get hurt. It's really odd. But we have this Swedish comedian, his name is Robert Gustafsson. He had this series on TV which was called Lost in My Own Garden, in which he played this old half senile guy who had a television show, and he was going to show how to do things like in the garden or cooking, and somehow he always got hurt, like a nail gone through his hand. He accidentally ate mushrooms when he was going to do like a soup and got high and set himself on fire. That was fun. He was taking a dive in the pool, but when he landed, it was just this much water in it, but he didn't see that stuff like that, because he doesn't react. Oh, he does react over the top, but in a way that's fun. Like you can feel the pain, like when he lands on his tailbone and it's like uh, it's fun. That kind of humor is fun. Uh, let's see here. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I also have a new internet. Yay! I got this from my ex-girlfriend, and it gave me 200 gigabyte of internet for 1 month. So I've been kind of like, yeah, I overused it. Uh, Problem is I have really no way of seeing how much there's left, because it's a long story. You have to log in with a bank ID and shit like that. But I guess that's when it's out, I have to refill it. But the thing is, these 200 gigabytes cost just as much, just as much as my old internet, which was 35 gigabytes for the same price. So I have 3 times as much to play around with, which is awesome because, as you know, I just don't do ASMR videos. I actually listen to them for sleep, relaxation, to ease my anxiety, to ease my panic attacks. And I haven't been really able to do that because most of my internet has gone into uploading videos or sharing when we have made like collaborations and stuff like that. Oh, I've seen Home Improvement with Tim Allen. I like that series actually. Uh, it was such a long time. I just remember the neighbor. You never saw his face. Uh, oh! I sorry. I have to mention. I have one movie that's my favorite comedy of all time, and one that I actually laugh, and that is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase and Randy Quaid. That's my absolute favorite movie when it comes to comedies. That one and Trains, Planes and Automobiles with John Candy and Steve Martin. Those two. If you want to make me laugh, put on those two because I love them, both of them. So you see, I love some comedy movies actually. this is not going to be one of those videos where I turn drunk and start to rant, because I have a lot of beer, but I just don't feel like drinking any like that. I just sip on these two. I have drank two here. And I just wanted to do this little live stream to like connect with you guys, because you are my online family, and it makes me really happy, you know, when you comment and stuff like that. Lately I have been, I don't know, I have been like feeling a bit off the grid, so to speak. For instance, I have turned off all notifications on Messenger, Twitter, Facebook, because I really want to address this, and I want you guys to hear this, because I think many people are in my situation when it comes to social media, stuff like that. For the longest time, I let social media run my life, you know, to the point that I didn't really want to leave my iPhone or iPad in case someone messaged me. So I wouldn't want to miss anything, because that made me feel like Anthony Fields. That's actually a good idea, and one that I will take in considerations. The Home Alone movies also are some of my favorites. See, I come up with more comedies than I really expected. But the Home Alone movies are in my vein, because people get really badly hurt in those. But the funny thing is, the scene that I laugh most about in the Home Alone movies is when Kevin puts the spider on his eye and he screams like a bitch. It just gets me every time. Okay, back to the more serious thing. Yeah, so I was kind of, I felt ruled by internet, and no one should actually have to feel that way. And I think many people do, you know, they are afraid to leave their phone because, you know, they might miss a like or they might miss a comment. But that makes you just imprisoned, you know. So I made a decision. I turned off all notifications. When someone messaged me, I might not see it directly. It might even take a day before I see it. But that's because I have my life. I must do things with my dog, with Nasse, my cats. I have my house to attend. I have my mom to help. You can't let internet rule what you do. It's okay to have friends online, you know, but you have to take time off for yourself, because that's important. You're the most important person in your life. You know what I mean? And of course, keep contact with those you love, but never make it feel like it's a must, that you always must be in control of every like, every message that you receive on social media, because that will only make you feel miserable and you will become grumpy like me. So I made a decision. I turned it all off, and it feels so much better. So much better, actually. So don't let anything rule your life, whatever it is. And I think that's just not for social media. It's also can be everything, really. If you like give up your freedom for something, then you will be imprisoned somehow. You don't have to be in a cell to feel in prison. Sometimes I feel in prison in my house because I have problems going out. But try to vary your life, because monotony is something that's really, really bad, I guess. And in the end, it brings you down. And don't let anything bring you down. So, there won't be any new role-playing video before New Year because I won't have time to do it. I need to fix the transport moped which broke down. The chain just snapped, and without that I can't go to the store, and I'm the only one who goes to the store to help mom shop, for instance. Um, I also must fix a lot of things around the house because I noticed, I think it was, yeah, yesterday, it turned cold for the first time in a long time. Now it's back to normal, like 7-8 degrees Celsius. Yeah. So now it's warm again, but I noticed, sorry, a slight change in Castle Doom. It became super cold, so I really have to isolate put isolation around all the windows because it's drafty like crazy. I have to take care of that. I watched the news or the weather report, and it's just going to be warm. Hooray! Even into January, I saw temperatures of like 8-9 degrees Celsius. So, so far, I don't have to fear like a cold, like end of day cold. But in case it happens, I need to isolate everything so it isn't as drafty as it was these couple of days because I was really cold. You know, I was in my bed with the cats and Nasse, and yeah, they kept me from from being a stiff corpse. So yeah, but guys, I don't think I will do a live stream on New Year's Eve. I don't think I will. Um, so this will probably be the last you see of me before New Year. But boy, oh boy, I have my head full of videos for you. And this is also something I need to address. It, it isn't such a big deal. But sometimes I really want to do like regular ASMR videos. Like I did last video I uploaded was like just triggers on the Blue Jetty. And they never seem to get any attention. And you know, that's also a little bit of pressure because you guys don't seem to like regular ASMR videos. I feel kind of stuck with doing horror or weird videos all the time. And it's okay, I love doing weird and crazy videos, you know, role plays and cosplay videos and shit like that. But sometimes it's nice to just do, yeah, horror. But sometimes it's nice to just do kind of like a regular ASMR video because I, I love if oh, thank you, Wesley. uh, yeah, I know I'm probably known for being weird. uh, sometimes I feel like, and this is not a bad thing, this is definitely not a bad thing, as a movies fanatic, I have my heroes in the underground movie community, like the Spanish director Jess Franco from Spain, rest in peace, or you know, obscure Italian movie directors who made a shitload of movies, but not many people know these movies. I kind of feel the same, and that feels like an honor in a way. You know, I don't have that many viewers. My videos don't get that many views. I'm pretty old and ugly. I will never have like thousands. Well, I have thousands of, of subscribers, but you know, 10,000s of subscribers and shit like that. But I feel like kind of like the weird underground cult ASM artist, like the George A. Romer of ASMR. I don't know. Uh, Thanks, Rebecca. Anyway, I'm going to cut this live stream because I have no clue how much internet I have left. Um I think I should have pretty much a lot of stuff, of gigabytes left, but I'm not sure. So I hope that I'm going to say some final words. I hope that this year treated you good, and that you are happy, and that the new year, the 20s, wait, the swinging 20s will have you even happier. So, with that said, from me, my cats, Nasse, the nasty monkey, which I'm sure will come back in a video, from me to you, have the happiest new year you can have. Be happy, stay safe, love each other, and remember there can't be any light without darkness. And I hope I'm your light in darkness. Goodbye, guys. I love you.